That's an interesting question. Um, so plus operation is not defined for arrays. I hope this is still up to date. No one's saying it isn't. Another way in which scientists become really scrappy programmers is that they really often will skip through a useful, well thought through explanation of something to just, what do I do to fix it? Wait, I would want this to equal 4, 6. And I can understand what's going on here, but how do I make it equal 4, 6? Everyone here seems convinced I want to concatenate the arrays. Obviously I could do it that way, but let's just do it the lazy way. Also, does JavaScript have plus equals? Are we in JavaScript? Let's play it safe. p.a10 is p.a10. So p1.a0 plus a10. I'm just having a look at that link you sent. Is this about whether I can do plus equals or not? Okay, so plus equals should work fine. It's actually pretty useful, and I'm going to leave that page up for myself. It's nice. I do hate that, and certainly, when I started programming, I felt like that was all that I was seeing. I now go and I look at these things and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see how you actually end up walking away with an understanding from doing what these guys have said. But, sometimes you just want to do the thing. That's not how you define a function in JavaScript. That is. That's not how you define a variable in JavaScript. You don't need NumPy in JavaScript, but you do need math. I always find it kind of telling when a language, you have to actually explicitly add math into it. It feels like most languages are written for manipulating databases, and they kind of will just about tolerate working for science. So because I'm doing this way, I need to clear the old accelerations every time. So I just need for loop in JavaScript. That is really nice, although I do quite like the control you get from... Like, I think the JavaScript version is pretty good, where you just say it's a variable. You don't have to be like... It's not like C, where you're like, it's a 32-bit integer. Okay, so it's kind of C syntax. There's a... How do I put it? I think maybe it's about to tell me this. Maybe I can do a short for loop. No. Sometimes if your for loop command can be done in one line, your for loop can be written in one line. For I in p's.length, I++, p's.a. So it's just clearing. You know what? Let's add some comments. Calculating and updating the acceleration particles. Cool. And then I need... Hey, what? Get this up on the other side. I'm trying to parse the thing you just said about PHP. I feel like I understand. So with the $sign in the front, when you print outputs, you can just add it in with all the text, and it still knows to add the variable string in there. Oh, because you would basically never have a $in the text, so it just kind of gets it. I get it. Love a bit of leapfrog integration. This is kind of the simplest. Simplest, pretty much fully functional way to do dynamical integration. So for I equals 0, semicolon. Yeah, no, that is nice. Like, they keep making it easier and easier, but printing strings in Python remains hard. And printing, like, I've never found a good way to just print strings in JavaScript. It's really, just really annoying. It sort of feels like it's like you're doing the wrong thing trying to print a string, but printing a string, or just printing some variable, is, at least for me, a slightly hacky coder. One of the simplest ways to check what's going on in your code. So, I want to clear the acceleration of all these particles. So I only want to be working on only want to be actually doing the gravitational calculation on a few of these particles. If condition brackets. If keys I flag is equal to 1. So that's the only particles that will actually that's a variable. Is that tabbed? I feel like there's weird spacing on this. Yeah, it's true. Like certainly JavaScript isn't built to do a bunch of printing variables. It's just when you're coding something like when you're still not at the stage where you've got something you can look at. Just being able to see like, okay, what's this number actually equal to? Is it equal to what I expect it to be? J equals 0. No, not j equals 0, from j equals I index plus 1. So 2 n particles. So this is looping through all particles of higher number. Yeah, maybe I should try using alert. Where does alert come up? Does it like pop up or something? So I actually want to do gravity on these particles. What is going on with the spacing? I think maybe that one just... Whoa! Just got out of hand. So I want the gravity between current particle and particle. Oh, that's good to know. I'll start using that. So that is everything we need to do a gravity simulation. In theory. So let's put some particles in there. How do I make new instance of an object in JavaScript? Let's just make it by hand. So what I'm simulating here is a smaller galaxy which is coming into the gravitational influence of a larger galaxy, and I'm looking at how it sinks deeper into that gravitational well. So the host galaxy can have a mass of... It's a bit light for the Milky Way, but satellite can have a mass of 10 to the 9. What else do I need to set up? They both are self-gravitating, so they both need a flag. The satellite should have some initial displacement. Let's do. So this is a 3D simulation I'm doing. I'm only going to display anything in 2D. And one nice thing about gravity is it conserves angular momentum. So everything that starts in a plane stays in that plane. So there's a weird way in which it is a semi-2D simulation regardless. Needs to be going at some speed. Otherwise it will just crash straight into the middle one. Yeah, that's why I quite like writing code in something like CodePen, which I don't know if it can do PHP as well, but at least you can kind of see everything working immediately. Most of my coding I do in Jupyter notebooks, what used to be called IPython notebooks, which they work for a lot of languages. I know that they do work for JavaScript. And they're a really nice way of working. Actually, there was a thing... I look into this every few years. Is this what I want? Nope. Better ways to do... There we go. Better ways to do coding in different ways. Just because there's always the fear that I'm using the wrong tool and not necessarily seeing better tools. And this, or something similar to it, was really, really promising looking. It was an online, multi-language, notebook-style code runner. But now it seems to have folded into something else. I can't really keep up with this part of the world, particularly because I know that I might need to run my code again in a decade. That someone might want to run the simulation for themselves, and so I need it to be reliable. And I need however it's made to be working still then. And so I can't really trust, however cool they are, some new startup Silicon Valley group who have found some great new way to do coding. But at the same time, it really feels like there must be better ways to do it than this. And something like CodePen, I wouldn't write anything on here that I'd be scared of losing. But it is quite a cool way to be writing code, and it does basically seem to work. This even more so, especially because, once I'm done, I can hopefully collapse down the cell. Okay. So this is my actual simulation. Now to make it run and display. Just realised that it's probably going to be in completely wrong bit of the screen when I first turn it on. Can I... kind of want to copy and paste this cell, like I want to. I need var j var. Also, it sounds like you're like. All my coding is scientific coding, but I see people doing web coding and you're having to think about like permissions and things like that. Like I never think about permissions. I don't know how to. I never want to. But there's a real level of abstraction between what you're trying to do and what you're actually doing that I don't think is good for anyone's ability to actually achieve what they want to do. I'm going to put this whole thing in another cell. And let's get rid of this stuff. Cool, that keeps working. That's just to have that stored somewhere because I'm about to mess it up. Yes, this is P's I. I end up doing quite a lot of my work on supercomputers because you just write some heavy piece of code and you need to run it. And whoever administers scientific clusters must have the most incredible patience, because we don't know really what we're doing, and we'll lock ourselves out of our own documents and things like that, and we'll be there being like, why don't we have admin rights? And then we'll do something incredibly stupid because we don't even know it's stupid, and we're like, oh, that's why we don't have admin rights. Okay. So that should put a particle in all the places where I need a particle. Runtime end particles is not defined. Where's that? Will it show me? You know what? Let's just move this sensible function definition, whoops, to, yeah. This little push. Cool, so that's kind of something. There's something up here. That's the original circle that was there, but all I can really do is click on and make it smaller. So this is all the particles starting in that corner. This is putting those circles... No, this is like the central circle, which I don't even really want anymore. Although I will be sad to lose the one thing that I can clearly see is working. Oh wow, look at me, I even have a smoothing length. Let's put these things where they actually should be at the beginning. Cx is like D3, but this has always felt a bit clunky. Pretty versatile though, and that's worth something. That doesn't matter. So, rude question. Why bother trying to save a old PC running Vista? Is that worth your time? You never know, they might be fascinated. It's like occasionally people come to me with bizarre like physics dead ends they've got into, and they're way more interesting to me than when people come up with like legitimate questions, because it's weirdly stepping into the unknown. Something interesting actually might happen. So those are two particles. I feel like maybe I should be converting everything to be some like reasonable size on screen. Maybe not the first thing to worry about. Not using these anymore. Yeah, let's define an interpolation mapping. Okay, so I'm with you so far, making the PC dual boot Vista and Ubuntu. Love a bit of dual booting. Actually, yeah, I shouldn't shame anyone for doing some cool tech project. Like, what will you do with it, or is it just for the joy of like getting it running? Yeah, it's a good point. I'm kind of lucky. I end up kind of collecting computers. Like, I'm sitting at 3 different computers right now, and 2 of them are pretty old and not very good, but it's nice to have one that you can sort of safely brick. Yeah, exactly. There's actually absolutely no need to use this built-in function for what I'm doing. So what I want to do here is I want to remap my coordinates so that 0, 0 is in the center of the picture. So I want to turn my physical coordinates into something that works well with the distances. Let's say the box is going to be 20 kiloparsecs to a side. So I want this to be that's the number in kiloparsecs. Not even using this anymore. Get rid of that. Okay. Those are 2 particles at some distance. Let's make the box 30 kiloparsecs. So I think before I actually have I want to update P's or particles. I don't even need to do that. But I do want don't need this if anymore. This was just to keep everything on screen. Okay, so that was useful using this particle.id. So the satellite ID should probably be 1. Unexpected token. Don't expect this to work. Nope, nothing moves. Because I never even defined this particle. This is one thing that is so different to me about... Still doesn't work. About using JavaScript. The ability for it to fail silently. Most languages I use, if they fail, you're going to know about it. But JavaScript's pretty happy. It's a pretty happy-go-lucky thing, and it just says, yeah, alright. I'll find some way to do it. So what will be happening is it'll be freaking out because there's nothing called that. But it just carries on. Okay, no, so... So they are in the right... Whoa, whoa. Okay, that's news. That one goes up there now. Okay, so part of the issue is that I need to do... In fact, maybe the entire issue is that I need to do this. That was wrong. This. What do I do? This. And dx1. Okay. Let's try your, what was it, alert? This is going to be a really annoying number of, where do I see it? No, it looks like this language doesn't like an alert. Yeah. So I have the ability to move this particle to 0, 0. I kind of just want to add some text in the corner so I can see, so I can output something. Because this really is working. These particles are moving around on circular orbits. After a while the other particle disappears as well. Yeah, now they both disappear. So that's cool. They presumably are both going up there. Which suggests that Wait, no, I'm being really stupid. Nowhere in this do I do a leapfrog integration. No, nowhere do I update the positions of the velocities. Okay, let's do some commenting again. So I actually need to then get rid of all these. I need to update to begin with, just to initialize everything. Then need to go through the particles. Oops. And update there. Velocities. Factor of a half. Then I find the new acceleration. Oh no, once they're all updated, I can I can also update the positions. So this is putting in this form of leapfrog integration. And those get updated a whole step. And then I update the new acceleration. And then I change the velocity again. I may as well do this at the same time. Okay, assignment constant variable, this circle. So they're staying in place, which I would say is maybe a good sign. It would be better, all things considered, if they were moving. Okay. That suggests to me that they are not that something's going wrong in that the acceleration's never not being 0, maybe? This might be different levels of object permanence. So in Python, no matter how deep through functions you are, you can change something about an object as long as it's global. I'm not certain if the same is true in JavaScript. Let's go back to this. Let's set this going for a bit. Understanding scope and context in JavaScript. Ryan Moore, you've probably written a wonderful explanation of this that I just would rather not read. Actually, I think I remember really liking this when I first learned it, and I've just forgotten exactly how it works. Function implications both scope and context. Scope pertains to... God, I've got to concentrate. Scope pertains to the variable access of a function when it is invoked, and it is unique to each invocation. So every time I call a function, it has a scope. Context is this keyword inside that function, I think. Oh, this simple example is already stumping me. You know when you just want something to be easy, and you're looking at it and you're like, it's more complicated than I signed up for. Who on earth has done this to me? What absolute villain has made it so difficult? Var object. I don't even know what this construction does. Do I? What does the colon mean? I disagree with OO objects in principle, but kind of on every time I change language, I agree. They're the best, but they're just more. They always add so much complexity when learning it. I didn't answer my question there, I just got bored of reading it, so I'm going to go back. That's fair enough. Like, I think they're the most weirdly difficult to get thing in programming. Certainly, I can't think of anything else that is both as difficult to get compared to the ubiquity. Partly, it's just that we talk about them like they're a thing to get at all. Let's see if Can I just do console.log? Will it come out somewhere? Oh look, that one's going up there again. Oh, we've undone the progress. Don't need that anymore. Fair enough. I basically just want the console. If I close that, will it close everything? So, cannot read property of step undefined. There we go. This dot step. What? So in the simulation that's working, something is broken. I don't understand how, if you're so broken, how do you manage to work? Is this not how I should be defining functions within functions? Because, like, yeah, it is working. I really like this way of creating objects, where they're actually just a function. It's possible it's not actually that clever. No, this seems to be equivalent. Is it that dt is undefined here? Well, dt is basically defined globally in this cell. Nope, that broke everything. And didn't solve the problem. Cool. Cool. So that's rebroken. So I changed code, changed it back, and now it doesn't work at all. Namespace issue? It's probably something really stupid. Is that moving? No, that is not moving. So it can't read it when it's trying to run the evolve function. What did I manage to do that was so terrible? Just initialize a new thing each time. Let's just see if this is throwing any errors. No, it seems pretty happy. Oh, this is a nicer way to look at it. Presumably I'm logging some things here. Okay, so I log that each time I implement it. Big fan of console.log here. Where's 368? Oh, that might be, yeah, that's this. That's the window size. Is it searching for that? Okay, so that did. Invalid or unexpected token. I have no idea what it is, but it doesn't seem that important. Interesting. So this is working. I'm getting a ton of circle expected length 0, 0, 0. Will this be as good as to tell me what line it's happening on? These are now moving again. So step fixed itself, whatever was going on with that. How do I... There we go. I don't even know. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's when I try and do that logging. It fails. That's moving. These are stationary now. Maybe I'm just doing maths wrong. Okay. So that's working. I think I found my issue. Yeah, there we go. JavaScript doesn't naturally like arrays. I've gone fat and lazy off array-based languages. X0, X1, X1, X2, X2. Never know. This thing might even orbit now. Nope, but you know, I feel like we're getting somewhere. Oh, it also went like this. Is there a way to multiply JavaScript arrays? No, let's just do things one by one. Is this logging on that? No. You know what? Let's define some of these. Outside of this. I feel like maybe what I'm supposed to do at this moment is let's define this out here as well. is add some alias to a type to make it work with the thing. This is one of those moments where I feel like there's probably a right way to do this, basically. And I'm not going to do it that way, because... Where did R go? Because I prefer doing it a simple way. I got something unresolved somewhere. Don't know why that's. Sometimes, if it doesn't work, you just reload the page. Okay, this should now have some effect. Our hat never changes. Because the particle never moves. That might not be the fault of this calculation. A2 actually has a value, so at least that's doing something. Seems perfectly reasonable as a value. Still seems to be printing. Oh yeah, it's two different values in the two different directions. Is that correct? Am I happy with that? Fine. Hey look, it's over there now. So back to giving the circle the wrong attribute. Maybe it's because I'm being over ambitious with the plus equals. Make life easy on you. Okay, so that's... I'm not sure evolve is being called. I'm going to get rid of this cell, given that it's actually causing this this error. Oh, actually, no, it's not even that cell. It's this cell. Don't use color anymore. Do need D3. I did not save that change I just made. I don't know what it is, but something's got me in the habit of just assuming things will autosave, which is a great way to lose half an hour's work. The options here seem to be nothing happens or one of them goes to the corner. And it does not want to run this timer, seemingly. I don't... And that's happy running this one. It's not logging this, for whatever reason. It's just decided to... log that. Yep, willing to say that over and over again. It's even willing to say that over and over again. I'm very confused. Why? Can it log a variable? Can it log a variable there? Okay. It can do that. Oh, this isn't helping. That is not a good way to do a for loop. In fact, it's just the incorrect way to do a for loop. It is quite possible it was never going into that for loop. And certainly now these things disappear. That's huge. That flies off and feels no gravity, but we're getting closer. I actually want to check what d3.interval does. Okay, so putting that number up should just slow down the function calls. In theory, that should be once per second. Yep. That's ugly as hell, and I don't want it that slow. 10 times a second? 10 hertz? Well, this is something, you know. The acceleration isn't working, but the particle goes somewhere. Interesting. Oh, I'm still using plus equals here. So the particle is moving. That's a bit of overkill. Particle's moving. That doesn't look like an orbit to me. Which suggests that the velocity or the acceleration is insufficient. Put the mass of everything up. Let's put the mass as something ridiculous. Okay, so something ridiculous does have an effect. Hey, whoa. So there's more than a little bit wrong here, but we're getting there. You know, that's quite handsome. Don't ask me why it does that. I think what's happening is that this is actually moving towards it and we're just not seeing that. No, it probably isn't. Because this mass is so large that I actually wouldn't expect this to move barely at all. But it is fair to say that that gravity is just not going in the right direction. 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 0 0 1 1 1 1 2 0 2 0 2 0 2 0 1 2 2 0 1 2. That might do it. Okay, so now we've got a poorly resolved hyperbolic orbit. Let's put that down a little bit, and this down by a factor of 5. Is too much. Factor 2. It really seems to be accelerating off over there pretty fast. So that's the acceleration on So, the really massive particle is moving a little bit, but just not very much. And this is flipping up to the corner. Really? Oh, no. You know, it's spending it's half its time there, half its time here, which actually could explain why it the way that the other particle accelerates off in this direction. Like this looks like an orbit. Spin. No, 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 no. Okay, let's see. I want to relatively quickly stop it while it's still, you know, on its first few motions. So it starts, particle 0, you know, pretty slowly starts moving towards the other one. Position doesn't seem to be being updated though. Why not? What? Nope, I didn't save it. Saved and rerun. Okay. So we get 2 calls are here. Let's get rid of these calls. That particle stopped freaking out quite so much. Can't tell if this is 2 numbers or just a long number. Let's see if there's something wrong with gravity before I delve much deeper into this. Because these masses are a bit crazy. Gravity... What the hell units was that in? Well, that's why. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Maybe. Hey, the 2 particles kind of orbit each other. The orbit seems to quickly go hyperbolic though. So let's slow things down. This really seems to be accelerating off in this direction, which is not what I want to see. Sorry, I got distracted with something else. Why is simple gravity not working? What did it change back? That is because the program I use, so I stream at the same time to Twitch and YouTube. Not that I think anyone's watching on YouTube, but just the rationale being that it's just more exposure, and the program I use does not know about science and technology as a Twitch category, so I leave it on Hearthstone because, you know, lots of people watch Hearthstone, and I play Hearthstone sometimes. I don't understand. Every so often, like every few steps, it gets a CX it doesn't want. My YouTube... I don't actually know. Let's find out. What is my channel called? And is it actually working? Yeah, I am live now. Zephyr Penoya, which is my name. Yeah, so I was actually making a whole bunch of these at once because I'm because the connection is dodgy, I think. I should probably change my YouTube name because no one can spell Zephyr Penoya. And fair enough. Do this. Will that work? Let's find out. Oh look, it's a flashy boy again. Okay, the radius seems fine. I think it's getting a string from somewhere. Now, how is it managing to get a string? Oh. Thanks, man. I have a feeling you'll be the first subscriber, but I think you were the first... You might have been the first follower on this as well. I'm getting all emotional. I'm not actually getting that emotional, but I'm not getting... They're not without emotion. I still feel like I'm just starting to work out how I might create, like, enjoyable content. Like, honestly, it's really nice doing this coding, just talking. You're kind of getting... I presume you know the old expression rubber ducking, where you put a rubber duck on your desk and you tell your coding problems to it, and by virtue of saying them out loud, you solve half of them. Okay, so that is all working. do feel a little bit stumped. It's the point where you can just stare at numbers, and you may well be looking at a bug, but you just kind of can't really see it. Oop. Stop doing that. Yeah, these are pretty great. I can see the appeal of having one of these on your desk. I think I'd have a Fallout Vault Boy. And or Vault Girl, actually. I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan, but the Ghostbusters collection are pretty great as well. Wait, I think I missed the Skyrim one. Skyrim is a game I've never really gotten into. I've tried it a few times, and I just... Oh wait, are there more pages of them? No. I love the Fallouts. Oh yeah, I'm seeing the Skyrim ones now. Would you get in the Dovahkiin? But Skyrim, the world always just felt like it wasn't that interesting. Like the Fallouts, you've got these moral stories happening, which are just so clearly inspired by what's going on in the world at the time that the writers are writing it. Like, it feels like they've got quite a lot of empathy for the characters. Whereas Skyrim, it felt like a lot of the dungeons were just, oh, we're bandits and we hide in this dungeon. But then at the same time, as I said, I haven't played very much, and that might not actually be that true. And it's just my reading of it. Okay, our hat. Always yellow. I think maybe we talked about this before on stream, but playing games without all the overlay, just actually exploring a world, is such a rare pleasure. To be in a world that really lets you and deserves doing that. Found a whole new way to break it. What has happened here? It's rebroken. Everything is nan. So, R was 0 there. Why is this happening? I don't think... So I played, I loved Fallout. Fallout 3 was... Actually, but yeah, both Fallout 3 and New Vegas I completely loved. Fallout 4, I didn't get that deep into, so I didn't get that deep into base building. Okay, so what I've managed to set up here is a particle calculating gravity on itself. And that's why everything just blew up. There we go. Page will not reload. It does not want to. Come on. Fine, I'll open it in another tab. Develop tools. I think there's, you know, gamers will create a controversy about almost anything. What? What are these numbers? I almost get why Fallout 76 sounded like it could be good. Like, I don't necessarily feel like it was obviously going to be bad, and obviously no one should have bought it. But I think they're just a game studio producing games faster than they can actually make them justified. So gravity is fully in the right direction. Let's watch X1 go down. X2 go down. X2 is 19, X2 is 8. R hat is basically upwards because they're kind of on top of each other. Seems legit. Okay. And somewhere here. I think that's probably what they were going for, something like Arc or Rust. Neither of the games I've played, Okay, so this is the moment they go past each other. Everything seems fine with this. Why does it insist on breaking? I think it's so easy in the sort of huge development cycles these days to create a game that doesn't actually have any clear purpose. I feel like that's what they did there. They just ended up creating a game for the sake of it. Now CX is freaking out again. That seems to just happen every so often. Okay, where does X2 get less than X1? Yeah, I think I agree. I also... What's the other studio? Who made Fallout New Vegas? I'd love to see more Obsidian Vegas, because I think Fallout New Vegas was one of those rare games where I actually felt much presence in the world. So... Number 1 is being accelerated in the positive X direction. Number 2 in the negative X direction. I think I might have found the problem. But I also not even sure if it's a bug in my code or if it's just something screwy with the world. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that isn't actually being updated correctly. It's not clearing the old accelerations when it says it has. So I'm not really quite sure why it's doing that. Yeah, I am. Oh, I do not feel like that bug should have taken me that long to find. Okay, that makes sense of a lot of things, including why the speed is quite so high. It's also... Let's stop logging that. There we go, particles orbiting each other. God, that took a while. Let's just clean up the code a little bit. That's too fast. Took me a long time. Let's do one thing. Put it all in the center of mass frame. And I think I might stop there for the moment. Let's just see how well it stays in place. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So, I think I'm going to leave this there. I'll probably come back to it at some point. Probably keep working on it over the weekend. And maybe I'll keep using this observable tool. It's not the most happy piece of code I've ever seen, but then it is. It's pretty cool. People do cool stuff with it. I'm just going to go explore some of the kind of popular ones right now. Yeah, something like this. It is pretty fantastic that it can be so makeable. It's a really nice way to think about doing some teaching. These believable. Yeah. Particularly, I think for data science, it's got some really good potential applications. Right now, it feels a little bit heavy, but then that's just also my inexperience. I'm gonna leave it there. It's been a pleasure chatting, man. It made that quite painful experience of finding that bug about half as painful as it needed to be, and that's about as much as we can ask. See you around.